Mark, 6-0 victory in the FA Youth Cup tonight. What's your assessment?
Really happy with the boys, how professional they were. We had to break down the opposition for the first sort of 20-25 minutes, and it was just a matter of the boys doing their jobs, maintaining the structure that we asked them to do, and staying patient. You forget that half of them out there are still 16 years old, and they're very excitable, and they want to go and create, they want to go and prove how good they are, but it's a reminder to them of they're all great players. It's about carrying out the game plan as best as possible. So we're really pleased, and we think we've been building to a performance, a scoreline like this. We've played really well in a lot of our games recently, and dominated, created good chances, and just not finished. And tonight, more of it went our way. The boys got more finishes on target and got into positive areas.
Similar game in lots of ways to the first round win against Aldershot. What was the difference tonight that meant it was 6 goals rather than 1? Yeah,
that was something that we really looked at. Maintaining more width at times to really stretch the opponent, allow more gaps inside the central areas of the pitch, especially with the sort of 10 runs and getting those people into those areas, or getting the 10s to be able to pick up the ball and drive inside, like how Dan got his goal. More forward runs and time them better, and we had about 4 or 5 offsides early on, and frustrating. The forward runs were happening, but the timing wasn't there. So just improving on those things, but again making sure that we're disciplined, because you only have to give teams in this competition one half chance and they can hurt you. So we're really happy that the boys did that well for a majority of the game.
Dan Carter's goal was probably the easiest on the eye, but which one from a coaching point of view pleased you the most?
Yeah, as with being the early one in the second half, we expected they might change certain things, and they pushed sort of 2 up top on the press, and we just said to our boys again, be patient, do the right things, and when the opportunities come, then hurt them. And I think that came from it. So that when you go into a second half, you always want to get that next goal just to sort of seal the deal, if you like, and then try and build on some control, which is probably the side of the game that we're not as happy with. Is if you'd have turned up and looked at the game 80 minute, you probably wouldn't know who's winning, because it was a bit too end to end and a bit too transitional. So again, they're young, a lot of them, this is their first sort of FA Youth Cup game. A lot of them are still 16 years old, so stuff that we have to remind ourselves that we've got to keep getting better at, and that there's always loads to work on.
How important is it, and how do you go about ensuring that the lads, you've won 6-0 tonight, but there are lessons to be learned as well? How do you go about getting those lessons into them?
We have a game Saturday. So that's what we said to him in there, is we have a game Saturday, we have to focus on that. And the reflection of that is, if we don't control moments of the game, you'll get punished at some point. Especially in our league games, it's super competitive. Every team can hurt you. The next round as well, the teams get better and stronger because they've got through all these rounds. So I think it's making sure they understand that parts of the game need calm heads, control, discipline, especially when you've got the lead. It's really important. So we'll look back at some of the footage. The boys will hopefully look at it in the next couple of days in their own time as well, and we'll build some clips, and they'll put some clips to bring in and have some good healthy conversations ahead of Saturday.
And just lastly, it's the second game here at the stadium in a matter of weeks for your team. Just how grateful are you and your staff for the support of the club to have these experiences here?
This is amazing, because the boys are getting a real taste of what it could be like for them in the future. The fans were brilliant, and we want to get more and more for the next round. I think it's really important. I think the opposition will have a big following, so we've got to beat them. We've got to have more noise from our side, so we're encouraging as many people to come down as possible. Obviously thanks to the ground staff, the sponsors as well. So David Buckley, again, these things don't happen. We can't get the boys on the pitch if these people aren't sponsoring us. As well as all the staff that are putting in, and the media team giving us the coverage, and these boys an experience of what it could be like in the future.